Kurt Van Dyke, 66, California surf pioneer, community builder in Puerto Viejo for 4 decades, murdered in violent assault on Valentine's Day 2026. Costa Rica insists on calling it isolated case. Residents know it's not. Valentine's Day in the Costa Rican Caribbean. Kurt Van Dyke, 66, woke up in his house with his partner. Outside, the waves of Salsa Brava were breaking as always. At 10:50 a.m., at least 2 armed men broke into the residence. His partner, 31, was in the shower. Maximum vulnerability moment. What followed was not a robbery, it was an execution. Kurt grew up in Santa Cruz, California. His father, Gene Van Dyke, was a seminal figure in Northern California surf. His mother, Betty, defied gender paradigms by integrating into a male-dominated world. Kurt inherited the passion for waves and a code. The ocean doesn't discriminate. Respect everyone. In the 80s, he arrived in Puerto Viejo seeking the purity disappearing in California. Not as an investor, as a seeker. And he found it. Hotel Puerto Viejo wasn't just business, it was a meeting node for the global surf community. In the waves, they knew him as king. Not from arrogance, from seniority, from the respect he inspired facing Salsa Brava. His brother Peter described him as someone incapable of inflicting harm, always willing to lend a hand. That kindness was his identity for 40 years. On February 14, 2026, it didn't help him at all. The attackers acted with coordinated coldness. They detained the couple, tied the woman with plastic zip ties. Kurt suffered multiple stab wounds and asphyxiation by strangulation. It wasn't quick, it wasn't clean. The Judicial Investigation Agency found the body under a bed, face covered with a sheet, gesture indicating dehumanization of victim after extreme violence. The attackers stole the 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Cameras caught 2 vehicles fleeing, one black, one white. Coordinated operation. Criminal cell with prior logistics. Costa Rica sells an image of peaceful paradise, pura vida, tranquility. The reality in Limon is different. In 7 days that week, 71 people victims of assault in provinces with highest crime rates. Limon among the most affected. 1 assault every 2 hours on national territory. Criminal gangs in Talamanca use military tactics, tactical equipment, prior intelligence on homes. Minors sent to verify security before the hit. Organizations linked to figures like Tony Peña Russell don't just traffic drugs. Aggravated robbery of isolated residences is complementary income source and territorial control method. Roger Sams, president of the South Caribbean Tourism Chamber, called the murder an isolated case. But residents like Michael Luke, a decade in Costa Rica, broke silence. Costa Rica has become worse than El Salvador because of cartels and government inaction. I've been close to death twice. One day before Van Dyke's murder, other Limon points reported shootings, bodies of young women with head gunshots. This isn't an isolated case, it's a pattern. Raw surf, published. This type of news shakes the surf world. Surfers are the first to explore remote areas, those who integrate most into local communities. The implicit message was devastating. Not even deep integration guarantees immunity from predatory criminality. If they killed Kurt Van Dyke, they can kill anyone. Hotel Puerto Viejo faces uncertainty. Other hoteliers expect falling reservations. Foreign investments will stagnate. Property values will drop. And the question nobody in government wants to answer: how many more must die before isolated case stops being the official response? The footprints that remain Kurt Van Dyke left foam footprints in Puerto Viejo for 40 years. Built community, taught ocean respect, integrated cultures. On February 14, 2026, that legacy ended under a bed, with a sheet covering his face. The OIJ searches for those responsible. Pressure is immense. But the international community already took note. Paradise lost its innocence, and Salsa Brava waves will keep breaking without the man who respected them for 40 years.